So I will leave you guys to it. And then Dr. Ambrose, if you're feeling unwell or anything like that, you can stop anytime. What you need to do is you just have to do some recording and then, and then send me the recording and I can always post it online for them.
No problem, because actually I'm well, except little bit of coughing only. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Do take care. Okay. So yeah, so I have the recording on now, I think. Yes. Double check again. Yes, it's in progress. Okay, right. And yes, go ahead with the class. I will leave you guys to it now. I'll mute myself. Thank you.
Yeah. Take care, Dr. Ting. Bye.
Yeah, you too.
I can see Netnia, Claren, Amalina, Rayleigh, Victor, Imira, Edri, Albert, Izati. Zai, I have not seen Zai. No message from him also. Zai, are you with us? Hello, everybody can hear me?
Yes, doctor, can hear you clearly.
Okay, good. Okay, I share my my slide. Can you see my slide?
Can, doctor?
Yeah. Very important topic, yeah. We will focus closely on this topic.
Doctor, what will be the question like for the exam?
I don't know how to answer you, Natya, because I'm not supposed to say anything regarding the exam topic. It will be under the safety and health, occupational safety and health. Yeah. When I ask you or when I emphasize you, take note. Yeah. Do you get it?
Understood, doctor.
Yeah. I think better that way. Yeah. Right. Okay. I go through the Act 514, Occupational Safety and Health, 1994. This one I need to share with all of you, plus the note, because you need it, yeah, to prepare for your final exam. Okay. I'm reading not through the notes yet, but going through the Act, OSA Act 1994, yeah. I'm reading through my desktop, yeah. Okay. Like any other act, yeah, in Malaysia, it always started with part 1. Part 1 is all the same, talking about the preliminary, yeah. Under part 1, preliminary, you have section 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are 4 sections only, yeah. Section 1 is on the short title and application. Section 2, what are the prevailing laws related to Occupational Safety and Health Act, yeah? The interpretation, the objects of the Act, yeah? That is part 1. Very important, yeah? What are the objectives of the Act? We will go in detail later, yeah? Part 2, appointment of officers, yeah? There are 3 sections relevant to part 2. Section 5, 6, and 7. Yeah. Then you have part 3. Part 3 is the National Council for Occupational Safety and Health. Yeah. There is such a thing in Malaysia. They call it the National Council for Occupational Safety and Health. Yeah. It started with Section 8, the establishment of the council. Section 9, membership. Section 10, second schedule. Section 11, powers and function of the council. Section 12, appointment of secretary to the council. Section 13, committees. 14, annual report. That is part 3. Now part 4, general duties of employers and self-employed person. Very important for you to know, yeah? If people ask you, if you are an employer or you employ yourself, that means self-employed person, yeah? So you have Section 15, your general duty as an employer and self-employed person to their employees. Yeah. So that is under Section 15. Section 16, duty to formulate safety and health policy. Yeah. If you are the employer, it's your duty to formulate safety and health policy. Yeah. And Section 17, general duties of employers and self-employed person to person other than their employees. Yeah. And then you have Section 18, duties of an occupier of a place of work to person other than his employee. Yeah. And then you have Section 19 dealing with penalty for any offense under Section 15, 16, 17, 18. If you fail to comply under Part 4, the general duty as employer, you can be fined under Section 15, 16, 17, and 18. Yeah. Then Part 5, general duties of designers, manufacturers, and suppliers. Yeah. Further explained under Section 20. Section 20 is the general duties of the manufacturers. If you are the manufacturers, what are your general duties with regards to plan for you to use at work? Yeah, I think this is more relevant to your case study, yeah, Alberte and Netea, yeah, whereby
Yes.
the manufacturer, they have the general duty to the public, to the employees, to themselves as an employer. Yeah. And then section 21, general duties of manufacturers as regard to substance for use at work. Yeah. Just now you're talking about plant. Section 21 is relating to substances for use at work. Yeah. And section 22 explaining in detail section 20 and 21. Yeah. And section 23, this is the penalty that will be enforced for any offense under section 20 and section 21. Yeah. Very comprehensive act and very good act. Yeah. Our OSA Act Malaysia is very comprehensive. Yeah. And then you have part 6, the general duties of employees. Very, very important, please. Yeah, take note. What are the general duties of we if we work as employees? We have our own duties too. Yeah, we cannot escape the law. Yeah. So under this part, there are 4 sections involved. Section 24, the general duties of employees at work. Yeah. Section 25, duty not to interfere with or misuse thing provided pursuant to certain provision. Yeah. You cannot interfere, you cannot misuse. Very specific. Yeah. And then section 26, duty not to charge employees for things done or provided. This is clearly stated under section 26. The last section on this part, section 27, yeah. Discrimination against employee. Can you practice discrimination or not in your place of work? Albert, or is there any cases of discrimination against
Cannot.
employees in
Yes.
your workplace? Yes, Another.
Yes, doctor.
Can you share with us how is the case?
Like gender bias lah. Like when between a girl and a guy, when you're working, then there will be like some kind of um, a bully will take place lah. Like kind of that kind of things. I don't know how to explain, but like gender bias lah, discrimination, gender discrimination. If a guy give a command, then it will be like fulfilled. When the same thing a girl is commanding, then it won't be like taken so it will be taken so lightly. They won't really bother to hear, listen to you or something like that.
So that is discrimination, right?
Yes.
Because of gender. Yeah.
Yeah. That
We
happens
listen.
always to me.
Yeah. We listen to the guy just because he's a guy.
Correct.
And then we listen less to the lady just because she's a lady. Yeah?
Correct.
This is against section 27. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a very practical, and it happened in many places of work. Yeah. Even in government service, it happened. Yeah. I'm sure the environment also happen in the private sector. Yeah.
Yes. This happened to me.
Oh, it happened to you. How does it happen to you?
Yeah, that's the thing, like, doctor. Like, when a guy or a guy as an engineer, he says something, then it works. If I say something, then it doesn't work. Like, you need the guy to support you and all that kind of things. Yeah. So it's feeling very that we won't have that kind of vibration to work that. Yeah.
In a way, it affects the productivity, yeah, the
It
motivation
also
part.
it affects the mental health also.
Yes, yeah, somehow it do affects the mental health too, yeah. Because imagine you can always remember that scenario, yeah, and sometimes it playback, you know, that causes a lot of inner anxiety to those involved, yeah. Now the question is, how do you overcome this in your place of work? If you look at the law, is very clear under Section 27, discriminations against employee. This is between employee and employee, you know. So you can apply this law, this section. But in reality, do you apply this law in your place of work?
No.
Yeah, I don't think
No.
so, right?
Yeah.
You will be thinking a lot of on the repercussion. So maybe you let it go, see what happen kan.
Yeah, betul.
Yeah, until such a time maybe someone cannot take it anymore, then it will open up. Yeah, there will a time it will open up, but it's better to manage it so that it will cause less ill effect on interpersonal productivity and interpersonal relationship in the organization. Yeah, I have one section head when I was the deputy director of Audit Academy. Yeah, and this guy cannot work with any ladies in his section. He is clearly gender bias. I called him to my office one day. He admitted it. Yeah. And I think part of the problem is it happened because of his background. Because of his background. His parents was also gender bias themselves. So he seems to be unable to control this gender bias, and then he start to bring it to office. Yeah. So I tried to counsel him. Then there was some positive result, but I couldn't overcome it 100%. Yeah, because he need to change himself. I can't change him.
Yes, correct.
So these are the type of thing that we face in our daily work. Yeah. Okay. And then you have part 7. Yeah. Safety and health organization. Yeah. Under section 28, you have medical civilian. Under section 29, safety and health officer. Under section 30, establishment of safety and health committee at workplace. Yeah, you must you must have safety and health committee at workplace. Do you have this in your workplace?
Yes, we have.
That's good. Yeah, that means you are following what OSA 1994 under Part 7. Yeah, and then you also have Section 31. What are the function of safety and health committee? Yeah. Then you have Part 8. Part 8, notification of accident, dangerous occurrence, occupational poisoning. There's such thing as occupational poisoning, yeah? Occupational diseases and inquiry. There are 3 sections related to this. Section 32, notification of accident. When accident happen in your place, you need to notify of the accident. Dangerous occurrence, occupational poisoning, and occupational disease and inquiry. Yeah. Section 33, Director General may direct inquiry to be held. If you don't do the notification, the Director General may direct you to make the inquiry on the accident. Yeah. Then under Section 34, power of occupational safety and health officer at inquiry. Yeah. And then Part 9. Yeah. Prohibition against use of plant or substance. Now, what is plant or substance here? Under OSA. Anybody want to guess? For example, using of ketum in Malaysia. Can we plant and use ketum in Malaysia?
Cannot.
Cannot. It's against the Drug Act, right?
Yes.
Yes. That's why the Menteri Besar of Kedah, I think, he wrote to the KDN minister to allow Kedah to export ketum to Thailand. The KDN minister reject it because it is against the law. Yeah. How about substance? Yeah. Substance here related to drug, right?
Yes.
Illegal use of drug.
Illegal use of drugs and
Yeah.
certain unapproved medicines.
Yes. Anything that is not authorized under law, those plant or substance are illegal. Yeah. Maybe illegal in Malaysia, but legal in other country. Yeah. For example, anything legal in Malaysia, but illegal outside.
Marijuana.
Marijuana, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. That is illegal in US, right? In UK, legal.
It's legal in US.
But we can't use it in Malaysia.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember I went to Holland. The first time I went to Holland, Netherlands. Yeah, there's a place they call it just like public said, nice public said, and I saw a lot of people there sitting down there. Actually, those places are built for legal drug use, and one of the drug is marijuana. Marijuana, is it? Marijuana. Sorry. Yeah. So drugs are allowed there in that country, and they are given a proper place to use it. So that drug is not legal in Malaysia, but legal in other country, right? Right. Okay. That is section 35. Section 36. Aggrieved person may appeal. Yeah. If anybody are not happy, they still can appeal. The appeal process. Yeah. Then you have part 10, industry code of practice. Yeah, you even have industry code. Yeah, code of practice. Section 37, approval of industry code of practice. The use of industry code of practice, yeah, in proceeding. And this is very interesting. Yeah, part 11, enforcement and investigation. They are from section 39 to section 50. It involves enforcement and investigation. Section 39, powers of entry, inspection, examination, seizure. These are the powers given. Yeah. Section 40, entry into premises with search warrant and power of seizure. That means before you can enter any premises, you must have a search warrant. Without search warrant, you cannot enter the premise. And the warrant also give you the power of seizure. Yeah. Section 41, entry into premises without search warrant and power of seizure. This is provided also in section 41. Yeah. You can enter without search warrant and you have power of seizure also. Yeah. Very powerful. Yeah. This law. Section 42, power of forceful entry. That means you force your way through, forceful entry and service on occupier of a signed copy of list of things seized from premises. Yeah. That means you have the power of forceful entry. You must list out all the things that you seize from that area or from that premises. I have the chance to audit police exhibit. You know police exhibit, Natya?
No, I'm not so sure.
For example, in case of CBT, pecah amanah, whereby it could be in cash, it could be in property, just like the 1 MDB case from Latin Rosma. They seized the cash, right? So they have to list down all the denomination of the money. You can imagine how many weeks they have to do it. Yeah, practically campaigning there. So this become police exhibit and mahkamah exhibit. Yeah. And for us auditor to check also, it is really taxing. Yeah. Because the owner, the policeman, maybe at the time the department concerned, where the offenses was at the time it happened. Yeah. So we cannot afford to make any mistake when we do the checking. Yeah. Very, very difficult job to do. Okay. And then you have section 43, yeah. Further provision in relation to inspection. And then section 44, power of investigation. Yeah. You're given power to investigate. Section 45, power to examine witnesses. You can examine witnesses. Yeah. Section 46, employer, etc. to assist officer. If you are the employer or any person related, you can assist the officer. Section 47, offenses in relation to inspection. Yeah. And section 48, improvement notice and prohibition notice. Section 49, this is the penalty for failure to comply with notice. And section 50, the aggrieved person may appeal. You see, in our law, we always give the aggrieved party the opportunity to appeal. Yeah, that is very good part of our law. Yeah, you may be suspected, but you are given the opportunity to appeal. Yeah, and then part 12, dealing with liability for offenses. Yeah, there are many. Sorry, anybody want to say something? No, huh? Okay. So under this section 51, the first penalty, they're talking about general penalty. Yeah. Section 52, offenses committed by body corporate. What is body corporate? Clarence, can I hear from you, Clarence? What is body corporate? Edri?
Oh,
Yeah. What do you understand by body
organization.
corporate?
Organization.
Yeah. It could be organization. Yeah. For example, the place you work lah. Yeah. Section 53, offenses committed by trade union. Yeah. For example, MTUC, that is trade union, yeah. Section 54, offenses committed by agent. If you are an agent, so those offenses that could be committed by agent is under section 54. Now, under section 55, you can defend, yeah, you can defend yourself. Section 56, body corporate or trade union liable to fine. So if you are body corporate or trade union, you are liable to be fined, yeah. And section 57, aiding and abetting. It means here, aiding means you help, membantu, aiding, ya. Abetting, bersahabat. That means you are working with, yeah. Okay. And section 58, safeguards against further personal liability, yeah. If the offenses is already penalized, they are safeguards against further personal liability to that person, yeah. Section 59, civil liability not affected by part 4, 5, and 6. That means all civil liability can be carried out regardless of part 4, part 5, and part 6, yeah. And section 60, owners of purveying limits of what is practical. Yeah, what is practical? What can be carried out? Yeah, and section 61, prosecution. Section 62, compounding of offenses. Yeah, in some cases, offenses can be compounded. Yeah, and then you have part 13, appeal. Yeah, under appeal you have section 63, appeal committee. Section 64, power of appeal committee. Section 65, the decision of the appeal committee. Yeah, and then part 14, you have the regulation. Under section 66, that is regulation, yeah. And part 5, 15, miscellaneous, yeah. Section 67, duty to keep secret, yeah. If you are working under this act, if you're the officer under this act, yeah, it's your duty to keep secret, yeah. And then followed by 3 schedule, first schedule, second schedule, third schedule. So this is the overall Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 in Malaysia. Very comprehensive, yeah. Okay, I think now let's go through the notes, yeah. Now, can you see my slide? Yeah?
Yes, doctor, can see.
Can, all right. Now, the legislative framework of occupational safety and health in Malaysia, yeah. So the legislative structure of occupational safety and health in Malaysia is governed by the constitution, yeah. Part of it is in our constitution, federal constitution, and whereby an act of law is being passed in Malaysia under the Occupational Safety and Health Act, yeah, 1994. So the main legislation involving OSA 1994. Sometimes people lazy to read the whole thing, yeah. Occupational Safety and Health Act. So sometimes people use OSA 1994. So for your case, in terms of writing, yeah, make sure you write in full one time. The Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994, and then you put in bracket OSA 1994. Okay, that would be very more meaningful for those who read your writing, yeah, and make it a practice, yeah, for all your assignment, your exam question, yeah, your project paper. Make it a habit, because this is one of the guidelines provided by UNIMAS for thesis writing, yeah. And then you have the Factories and Machinery Act 1967. In short form is FMA 1967. Yeah. So today we will look into this also, the Factory and Machinery Act. Yeah. And you have the Petroleum Safety Measures Act 1984. Yeah. And all this focus on the legislation in relation to safety and health. Yeah. Safety and health at work, and the initiative taken by the government to reduce occupational accident in Malaysia. Now, when you talk about safety and health, yeah, what do you mean by safe and health in a workplace?
Free from
But
hazard and
yeah, Nadia, sorry.
free from hazard and health wise is taken care, like for example, like dengue prevention, then this COVID outbreaks prevention, something like that.
Still remember we are talking about last Saturday class? What are we discussing? Can you remember, no? What are the most important thing we always repeated last Saturday class? We're talking about the building by law, right?
Yes.
Yes, building by law. Now, which part of building by law that require safety?
Fire escape route, emergency.
Yes, exactly. That related to safety, right? Yes. Without permit given by BOMA, we will never be able to get the OP. OC or WWW, yeah. Okay. Now, how many cases of occupational accident happen in Malaysia? Do you have any record? Daily cases. You heard of the bridge collapse or the beam collapse? It do happen in Malaysia, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. Why do you think this accident, occupational accident, happen? Why?
Negligence.
Non-compliance.
Yes. Non-compliant to OSHA. Remember we talk about if you must remember in OSHA who are supposed to comply? You, the employer. If you are the employer, you comply, right? Now, you are the workers, the employee. You need to comply, right? So everyone in society need to comply, and because of non-compliant, that are indication of occupational accident happening not only in Malaysia, in other countries too. Yeah, maybe the severity in other country may be more severe, or in our country maybe less severe. Yeah. Now, under the OSHA 1994, yeah, which was made in consideration of the fact that the FMA, yeah, the FMA 1967, which control only factory, yeah, factories only, yeah. So the sectors they cover are only manufacturing, mining, quarrying, construction, yeah. Under FMA, under the Factories Machinery Act, yeah, 1967, it only covers sectors as manufacturing, mining, quarrying, and construction. What happened to all the other sectors? Not covered. Yeah. So the workers that are covered under the factory machinery, yeah, 1967, only consists of 24% of Malaysia total manpower. Only 24%. Yeah. But OSHA 1994 covers 90% of the total manpower. So in other words, OSHA cover or more than 90% of Malaysia manpower compared to the Machinery Factory Act. Yeah. Okay. So very important. The main object of OSHA 1994. Yeah. If people ask you this question, what are the main objective of OSHA 1994? So number one, to secure safe, remember safety, health,
And
welfare.
welfare.
Yeah, remember these three main words: safety, health, welfare. Yeah, of a person at work, a person at work, against risk, against all risks to safety or health. Yeah, risk related to safety or health arising out of the activities of the person at work as a result of his workplace activities. Yeah, remember, yeah, that is the first objective. Now the second objective, to protect person at workplace other than person at work against risk to safety or health arising out of the activities of person at work. Just now it's to secure, now is to protect. Yeah, to protect person at workplace. After you secure, you protect, then you must do promotion too. Albert, yeah, to promote an occupational environment for person at work which is adapted to their physiological and psychological needs. Yeah, the promotion of occupational environment in terms of physiological and psychological needs. Yeah, so secure, protect, promote. D, to provide the means, yeah, to provide the means whereby the associated occupational safety and health legislation may be progressively replaced by a system of regulation and approved industry code of practice operating in combination with the provision of this act designed to maintain and improve the standard of safety and health. Yeah. So once you secure, protect, promote, then you must provide, yeah, by using of industry code of practice. Yeah. For example, your engineering industry code of practice. Netya, do you use industry code of practice in your workplace?
Certain activity we have to use the ICOP.
The industry code, is it?
Yeah.
Can you give an example? Or when do you use it?
For noise regulation.
For noise, if the noise is too strong.
Yeah, actually, for here we have a industrial code of practice for noise exposure. So they have revised recently to 2019, where last time was 85 decibel, then it's considered as loud noise. Now they have got revised to 80 decibel. They make it more stringent and must have a noise risk assessor. So they have include that thing in the ICOP, yeah, industry code of practice.
That's why if you look at the Putrajaya Kuala Lumpur highway, if you notice, once the highway pass condominium or apartment, they have the what do you call that? The noise absorber, is it, Natia?
Yes, the monitoring, noise monitoring.
Noise monitoring, yeah. And I see that is quite good practice in Kuala Lumpur. I don't see that one practice in Kuching and Kota Kinabalu yet. I've yet to see it, yeah. So we are still lagging. Kuching and KK is still lagging in terms of this noise, yeah. How about in terms of the risk, like the place where you work, Albert?
Yeah, doctor. Sure.
Do they use the industry code in terms of the substance that you use in doing your work?
I haven't encountered it lah, but I'm sure
Oh.
they practice this.
Oh, I see. All right. Okay. So remember, yeah, these are the 4 main objects of OSA, yeah, to secure, protect, promote, and provide, yeah. So sometimes they call the Department of Occupational Safety and Health as DOS, yeah. So if people ask you what is DOS, just remember it's Department of Occupational Safety and Health, yeah. It's under the Ministry of Human Resource, yeah. And this department is responsible to ensure the safety, the health, the welfare. Quite easy to remember, yeah. Safety, health, welfare of the people at work, as well as protecting other people from safety and health hazard in industry sector, yeah. As specified in first schedule of OSA 1994, yeah, which include the following, yeah. These are the example given, yeah. Manufacturing, mining, quarrying, B, C, construction, D, agriculture, forestry and fishing, E, utilities, F, transport, storage, communication, yeah, and wholesale, retail trade, hotel, restaurant, all this, yeah. And OSA 1994, however, shall not, remember, OSA 1994, however, shall not apply to work on board ship governed by Merchant Shipping Ordinance 1952 and the Merchant Shipping Ordinance 1960 of Sabah or Sarawak and the Armed Forces. Yeah. Remember other exception, yeah, OSA 1984 shall not apply on board ship governed by Merchant Shipping Ordinance 1952, Merchant Shipping Ordinance 1960 for Sabah and Sarawak, and Armed Forces. Yeah. So any merchant shipping governed by the Shipping Ordinance 1960 for Sabah and Sarawak and the Armed Forces is exempted, yeah. And OSA 1994 provides for the appointment of officers, yeah, and independent inspecting body established by the National Council for occupational safety and health, and the powers and function of the council are given, yeah, under OSA 1994, and the general duties of the employers, very important, yeah. What are the general duties of employers and self-employed person to the employees? Yeah. The general duties of employers, self-employed person to the employees. Yeah. The general duties of designers, manufacturer, supplier, and all employees are all provided in the act. Yeah. Then the duty imposed by OSA 1994 on the employer for the self-employed person is to ensure employer, yeah, is to ensure as far as practical, practicable, the safety, health, and welfare at work of all his employees. Yeah, that means if you are the employer, what is your duty imposed by OSA? Yeah, if you are the employer now,
Yes.
you are the employer. So what is your duty as an employer?
As an employee or employer?
Employer. You are the employer. As far as practicable, yeah, you
Follow
provide
the health
a safe, healthy,
environment.
and welfare at workplace, right?
Yes.
That is your main duty as employer. Just remember that. Sejauh mana practicable, as far as practicable, yeah, to provide safe, health, and welfare for employees at workplace. Okay. Now, the work is defined under the Act to mean work as an employee or as a self-employed person. Yeah. The employee and the self-employed person is deemed to be at their place of work in the circumstances below. Very important. Take note, yeah. They ask you what is the definition of workplace? How do you define workplace? That's what it means. Yeah, Albert. There is a definition of workplace. It cannot be any place. Yeah. Okay. The first circumstances that can be considered a workplace. Yeah. The employee and the self-employed person is deemed to be at their workplace in the circumstances below. That means if I'm an employee, I am deemed to work in my workplace under the following circumstances. Circumstances number 1, A. Yeah. Number 1, an employee is deemed to be at work throughout the time when he is at his place of work, but not otherwise. Really, are you there, really?
Yes, doctor.
Good morning, really.
Morning, doctor.
Yeah. Can you explain to me what do you understand by circumstance A tadi? Yeah, where we said an employee is deemed to be at work. Orang yang kerja tuh dia dianggap di tempat kerjanya. Throughout the time when he is at his place of work, but not otherwise. Victor, are you there, Victor? Victor,
Yes, doctor.
boleh bantu? From your understanding.
From my understanding, the employee should be at the office lah,
Correct.
or
He,
at the site lah.
yeah, he is at his workplace lah. Correct. But not otherwise mean apa maksudnya?
Melencong tempat lain. Yang pergi mall.
Yes. He will not be in other place, melencong tempat lain lah. Correct. That's what it mean. Yeah. That is number one. Ya. Paham tidak? Berarti ya?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes. The employee must be where he work. Bukan melencong tempat lain lah. Okay. Okay. B. Very important ya, B. A self-employed person is at work throughout such time as he devote to work as a self-employed person. That mean dia macam they employ himself. He's the employer. He's the employee. Like me, I work for myself. So I employed myself. I don't want to pay people. Ya. I do my accounting job. I do my auditing job. So I employ myself. So a self-employed person is at work throughout such a time as he devote to work as a self-employed. Mira.
Yes, doctor.
Can you use your own word to explain that?
A self-employed person is at work throughout such times he devotes to work. Meaning that when he does the work, it doesn't matter what time he do the work. He will consider it as a time when he do the work. For example, if he's an independent, if he's an independent, if he's a mechanic, for example, he does the work at 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. and then there's accident happen to him, then he still be liable under this section. I know.
That means
Is that
the
correct?
mechanic is working as a mechanic in his place of work
Mean
from
that
such a time to such a time. Right.
Probably at his own home because he's self-employed, so it doesn't have to be at a specific place or a specific time. As long as he considers it, this is my work time and this is my workplace. Then if anything happens to him, then this section applies.
Yes. That is exactly what it means, yeah. Understand, yeah, please. Very important, yeah. And furthermore, the place of work is defined. Ingat properly, yeah. Listen properly. The place of work is defined as the premises where person work or premises used for the storage of plant or substance and premises is defined to include A, B, C, D. Okay. If you explain what is the definition of workplace, as I mentioned just now, yeah, remember, yeah, workplace is defined as the premises, yeah, where the person work, where he work, yeah, where he used to store his plant substance, storage for the plant and substance, or premises defined include, number one, any land, building, or part of any building. That is defined as place of work, okay? Any land, building, or part of any building. B, any vehicle, vessel, or aircraft. Boleh bagi contoh. Any vehicle, that means if you drive a Toyota Hilux, so that is any vehicle. Vessel, kapal, kapal laut, ya. Aircraft, for example, Air Asia or Malaysia Airlines aircraft, yeah. So that is defined as workplace, yeah. C, any installation on land, offshore installation, or other installation, whether on the bed of or on floating on any water. This C, yeah. Imira, are you there, Imira?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. This part C, Amira, you're talking about any installation on the land, Amira. In office, for example, installation on land is office. Offshore installation. What is offshore installation, Amira?
Platform, like the rigging platform.
On the sea, yeah, on the sea, yeah.
Yeah.
Other installation, whether on bed, whether on the bed of or on floating on any water, yeah, on the sea, river, yeah, that's what it mean, yeah. And then
Yes.
part D, any tent or movable structure. Izati, what do you mean by any tent or movable structure? Are you there, Izati? Victor?
Macam kemah, content or shelter lah.
Kemah, for example, let's say we build kemah to wait for the durian to jatuh.
Yeah,
that is also considered as workplace, right?
yes.
Yes. Movable structure, yeah, that you can move around. Okay. So when people ask you for the definition of workplace, yeah, tempat kerja, workplace, please quote all those, for example, yeah. So taking into this into consideration, one can see that OSA 1994 adopts broad definition of place of work. Yeah. So actually, OSA 1984 very generous, yeah. It helps us to adopt a broad definition of place of work. Yeah. So I can't see why you can't explain to me after this. Yeah. How do you define place of work? Yeah. For example, if the employee or self-employed person is contractually obligated to work offshore on multiple site, many site, multiple mean many site, ya. Dia kerja offshore, multiple site, even assign overseas. Clarence, you banyak assignment luar negara dulu kan? Boleh cerita sedikit kah, Clarence? Boleh share sedikit? Clarence? About Victor, you work in the offshore before kah, Victor?
Yeah, I work in at offshore, but not overseas lah. Only Sarawak water.
That mean consider offshore lah.
Yeah.
Offshore. It involve many site or not?
Only some of the platform lah. Few platform, and then also going to Sabah water also.
Offshore
It's
is covered, is a work offshore, ya. That mean kalau they say the different platform mean different site, is it?
different kapal lah, different kapal, and then different platform lah. And also I have to go to office also during that time lah.
In other words, you have to come to office. That mean office is onshore, I believe.
Yeah, onshore.
Yeah. So that mean your workplace is offshore, onshore, platform, and multiple site. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is how we describe Victor place of work. Yeah. So when you give example to explain what is place of work, you can use this as an example. Yeah. Victor.
Yeah.
Or even when you assign overseas, yeah, during your course of employment, yeah, and then they are also considered to be place of work. I remember I went to London for 3 months. Yeah, we were assigned. I remember we went to London Parliament, the first assignment. Yeah, the second assignment we went to the UK Treasury, where they manage the pound. At the time, the pound was the most powerful currency in the world. At that point of time, our ringgit was 7 ringgit to 1 pound. Yeah. So we become poorer, yeah, when we live in London and we use their currency, and we have to convert our ringgit Malaysia to pound. Yeah. And then the third assignment, my third assignment was I went to one of the local authority in UK. Yeah, the local authority is just like Padawan Municipal Council. Yeah, Padawan Municipal Council. That was in UK, in London, it was called the Manchester City Council. Manchester City Council. Yeah. And then my last assignment was to go to the actual local authority, looking into how they use government grant to develop the local authority and to provide the best local authority services, yeah, to the local people. Yeah. And I'm absolutely happy to see that the British are very transparent, yeah, are very transparent, and they're willing to share with you what are the best practices in the organization, yeah. But in spite of those things that I mentioned, they do come across a lot of challenges like us in Malaysia too, yeah. But it's a good working experience, yeah. Be given the chance to benchmark between Malaysia and UK, yeah. So in a way, it makes us looking at the broader side of the whole picture, yeah, rather than looking at the small angle. Yeah. Okay. So those where we are even assigned overseas during our course of employment, yeah, they are also considered to be place of work. Okay. So remember, yeah, I want to repeat the importance of understanding what is the meaning of or the definition of workplace. Yeah. Now, the next important thing you must also remember, yeah, that OSA 1994 state that the employer's duty, very important, yeah, the employer's duty shall extend to include the maintenance of plan and system of work that are safe and pose no risk to the health of their employees. Melina, are you there? Tak ada suara ya? Why very quiet ya? I'm worried lah. Can you hear me?
Listening. We are listening to your this one.
Okay. Because I want to reinforce balik ya. Etnia, I'm sorry I have to ask you again. Now,
No problem.
now you're the employer.
Yes.
Employer, yeah. So what is your duty?
To ensure the safety, welfare, and health of the employee.
Yeah. Not only that, yeah, to include the maintenance of the plan,
Maintenance, yes.
of the system of work. Yeah. Any plan, any system of work in your working place must be
Yes.
safe. Must be safe. Pose no risk to health of your employees.
Yes.
You must not only you must not only provide the plan, the system of work, yeah, you must maintain them. Why you need to maintain the plan and the system? Yeah.
To avoid from being accident happen.
Yes, to make sure that the assist safe to use.
Yes, safe to
If-
use.
Yeah, if you don't maintain, it may expose the employee to unsafe practice, right?
Yes.
And then it will impose risk to health. Yeah. Okay. So the duty of the employer is also to provide information.
Trainings.
Yeah, you must also provide information,
Yes.
instruction, training, supervision. You not only provide, you do the maintenance, you provide the information, the instruction, the training, supervision. Why? To ensure safety and health.
Safety at work.
At work, for who?
The employees.
The employees. Ya. Huh? So nanti saya tanya, jangan you kata saya tak tahu. So it is not enough to merely to make sure that the premises are safe, but the employer must also ensure that the employees are well informed. Yeah, you are the employer. Make sure you know the employees are well informed. Yeah, and have the prerequisite training. Prerequisite means adequate training, related training. Yeah, how to operate the system, the plan in a safe manner. How to use it, they know how to use it. If you don't train them, how they know how to use, right? And to further ensure that the health and safety in the workplace are being protected. Yeah. Reasonable care must be taken to make sure that the employees are not exposed to dangerous situation. Albert, pastikan employee they are not exposed to dangerous situation. Boleh bagi contoh, Albert? What are dangerous situation?
Dangerous situation like in a plant, maybe operating the machine, suddenly putting the hand inside the machine. We have
Yes.
realized.
There must be some safety measures or SOP. How do you run this very high electricity usage machine, right? And they can only be used by and supervised by qualified personnel only, right? Yeah. And the degree of care given to each employee must be fit for that individual employee. Yeah. And the degree of care to ensure the safety of an able-bodied person, employee, yeah, and one who has an impairment should differ as the circumstances are different. Yang able-bodied lain, mungkin ada yang kurang able, impairment, some, as some of the employee could be OKU or less able. So their circumstances different. So we must fit their work according to their body. Able-bodied, less able-bodied, or impairment. Okay. Okay, I stop here first. Yeah. Now is 9:33. We come back at 9. What time? Are there?
9:45.
9:45. Yeah. So that we can finish it off. Yeah, this important topic. Yeah. And now we close the day by the Factory and Machinery Act. Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
we stop now and come back by 9:45 a.m. Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Doctor.
Welcome back to the class. Yeah. Now we still talking about the employer. Yeah. What are the duties of an employer? Yeah. The employer under OSA 1994. So, in case of accident, they need to notify the nearest occupational safety and health office of any accident, dangerous occurrence, occupational poisoning, occupational disease, which occur or likely to occur at place of work. Yeah. And the employees shall also send a report within 7 days. Yeah. So remember, this is one of the important tasks of an employer. Yeah. To notify the nearest OSA officer or OSA office of any accident, any dangerous occurrence, or occupational poisoning, or occupational disease that occur or likely to occur in place of work, yeah, within 7 days. How about COVID-19? What should you do as an employer under OSA 1994?
Notify to KKM.
Under OSA is we need to notify the nearest OSA office, yeah, within 7 days, yeah. Okay. Now, apart from
Doctor? Sorry, Doctor, question. The 7 days is a requirement by the OSHA, is it?
Yes.
Or is it included the JKKP punya form tu lah, right?
Yes. Dalam tempoh 7 hari.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Now, apart from the employers, I remember, I want to repeat again, employees, they have their general duties too. Ya, kita sebagai pekerja, kita ada duty general duties under OSA. Ya, these are the employees general duty. Number 1. You ingat pekerja tak ada general duty, pekerja pun ada ya. Okay, number 1, pekerja, employee ya, to take reasonable care for the safety and health of himself. Nanti ya, you kena jaga you punya sendiri.
Jaga sendiri dulu.
Ya, take care, reasonable care of your safety and health, and other person who may be affected by your act or omission. If you fail to do it, or you fail to act, or you omit to act, other people can be affected by what you are doing, you know. So that is number 1 duty as an employee, to take reasonable care of yourself and other people who may be affected by your work. Boleh ingat kah?
Boleh.
Good. Ya. Yeah. Nanti jangan scratch your head ya. Mira. Number 2, Amira, as an employee ya. To cooperate with his employer. Yeah, employee must cooperate with his employer or any other person in the discharge of any duty or requirement imposed on the employer, or that other person by this act or regulation made within this act. That is what it means. Ya. Tadi number one, we say reasonable care for your own self and people connected to you. Yeah. Second is you must cooperate with your employer or any person who do the duty or requirement under this act. Okay, cooperate. Boleh ingat? Victor?
Boleh.
Boleh ya?
Boleh,
Okay,
boleh.
good. Good. Ingat Victor, nomor 3 ya. Remember. Nomor 3, to wear or use at all times any protective equipment, clothing provided by the employer for the purpose of preventing risk to his safety and health. For example, people working in the construction, I think building construction, they use the topi. Topi apa tu? Yang warna apa tu?
Helmet.
Safety helmet.
Helmet.
It's not ordinary helmet, you know, kan?
It is a safety helmet with a CRIM approved one. Hard hat. They will call it hard hat.
Yeah. What is the purpose of that safety helmet?
To prevent from injury, and if you fall from height, it to protect your head.
To prevent from injury, yeah, from any fall, to protect your head, right?
Yes.
Is
So you must wear it. What happens if you don't wear or use it at all times?
Injury
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Injury happen may cause fatality.
Yes, it happened, right? It caused fatality. I remember I went to Bangkok MRT. We were in the ASEAN Auditor General Office meeting from Singapore, Cambodia, China, Malaysia, Laos, and Thailand itself. Yeah. So we went to the Bangkok MRT. Even though the MRT at the time, the Torawang already completed, but we still wear the safety helmet. All of us must wear. Yeah. So that shows the importance of the requirement C, yeah, employee to wear or use at all time protective equipment. D,
Doctor,
yes,
for this one, item C, we must use equipment that provided by employee, right? What if we
employer,
have a
employer, yes.
employer, yeah. What if we have better PPE equipment? Is that against the law?
No, it's not
No.
against the law. Boleh pakai.
No. Anything better than the law is never against the law.
Okay, because
That
this
one always, Victor, that one always go against the law is below standard, not compliant. That is against the law.
okay.
We when we auditing the, you know, at the time is the desert storm, they call it, whereby the UK armed forces were given the night vision to be used in the desert. at the time they're fighting a war in the desert, you know. The main purpose of this night vision is to help the soldiers to see, to use the vision to see during storm. You know, sandstorm in desert, right? You can't see anything at all, actually. So what did the feedback the UK Army on this desert storm vision? It was a total failure. It doesn't achieve the objective it was meant to be built for. So this is one of the things that we learn from UK. Yeah. Sometimes the planning to buy the equipment for war did not really can be practiced in reality, because reality is always different. Remember in Malaysia we have this problem too at one time. Kapal selam tak boleh menyelam. Ingat tak? Yeah. So our kapal selam susah tu menyelam. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is one example. Yeah. So remember, yeah, the employee must wear. Part D, ingat, the employee must comply with any instruction. Employee kena patuh, comply, ya, to any instruction, any measure on occupational safety and health instituted by his employer or any person under this act or any regulation. Ya.
Yes.
Can you name me one of the employee responsibility? Number one.
Employee's responsibility.
Yeah.
To work safely.
Yeah. To take reasonable care, yeah, for his own safety, yeah.
Yeah.
Ya, ingat, ah. Nomor dua.
To cooperate with his employer.
Yes, to cooperate with his employer, ya. Nomor tiga.
Wear the protective PPE all time.
Yes. D.
Comply with any instruction or measures on occupational safety and health.
Nanti tutup buku, boleh ingat kah?
Boleh.
Boleh. Okay, good. Saya kacau saja, ya. Okay, good. I'm happy that because I think I try my best to force you to remember. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then you have the Employee Social Security Act 1969. Yeah. Under this act, it covers medical benefit, disablement benefit, yeah, constant attendance allowance, dependent benefit, funeral benefits, survivor's pension, invalidity pension. I think our SOCSO in Malaysia is one of the best that I know. And a lot of Malaysian benefit from this SOCSO. Are you all contributing to SOCSO?
Yes.
You must. If you don't, you rugi. You have nothing to lose, but you have everything to lose if you did not contribute. Siapa yang tidak contribute? Saya tidak, because saya tak layak. Government servant not layak, I don't know why.
Tapi
Okay.
mau claim balik banyak susah.
Apa tuh?
Kalau mau claim balik sukso banyak susah.
Are you sure?
Sure.
So it's very hard to claim for sokso.
Yes. Dia
Oh,
punya
what is the
requirement banyak tinggi.
I see.
Like example, my father, he had this back pain. So due to the work prolonged standing, so this is the chronic acute disease. So you only have the long-term effect. So when we go to apply for SOCSO, they reject. They're saying it's not because of workplace. We appeal for 2-3 times. So memang susah.
After appealing, what happened?
Juga. Lepas tu sudah lebih 60 tahun, then dia cakap dah tempoh masa terlalu panjang, tak boleh.
Oh, dude, that's very sad, yeah.
Yeah, because memang we try for 1 year, we hantar dalam 1 tahun tu 2-3 kali, like 3 kali kita dah hantar. Then they went to the employer's place, but the employer said it's not because of that, because zaman dulu semua pakai manual handling, tapi sekarang sudah ada teknologi. Dia cakap kita dari dulu pakai macam ni, so dia dah tak bagi information yang correct lah. So dia ingat kita uh, just pusing cerita, so dia tak bagi kita, tak layak.
I see.
So better not to put in sukso.
But I got kampung met, you know. I think he worked in the factory, I think, and then he just lost part of the finger.
If like that,
Uh,
it's easy. Kalau sebabkan ke apa ke keliwatan lah, something like that. Cedera liwat.
he dapat hilang kekal seumur hidup.
Yes, that one they will give easily. But kalau yang macam spinal punya ke injury ke atau sakit lutut ke macam tu, dia tak bagi. Dia banyak prosedur.
Yeah. Maybe that is gray area, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Management is also difficult, doctor.
Which one? Amelina, yeah. Amelina, you want to say something, you know?
Tak dengar lah tadi.
Ya, I tak dengar juga. Okay, maybe can share it another time, Amelina. Yeah. So then you have the OSHA Master Plan 2020. Yeah. This master plan is to reduce the work-related death by 10%. Yeah. And the rate of occupational accident by 10%. The increased reporting of occupational diseases by 30%. And then they have the Vision Zero by the International Social Security Association, ISHA, yeah, to reduce the workplace accident and occupational disease, yeah, that have causes and can be prevented, yeah. Then you have this Department of Occupational Safety and Health under the Human Resource, yes. This is what they aim to provide to all of us, yeah. The training policy, yeah. And then what is the purpose of OSA? We already discussed it now, yeah. Well, I already mentioned about the regulation, all this, yeah. Self-regulation. Why is OSA very important, yeah? Okay. And then is OSA MS a legal requirement under the OSA 1994? Yeah, that this legislation protect and ensures the safety, health and welfare of all the workers in all economic sectors in Malaysia. Just now we mentioned it covers 90% of the workforce in Malaysia. Very big coverage, yeah. Compared with the factory is only about 27%, yeah. Okay. So what are the major difference between the Factory Manufacturing Act and OSA 1994? OSA supported by regulation, the other regulation, code of practice, guideline to clarify the act, yeah. The Factory Machinery 1967 emphasize on safety, while OSA equal emphasis on health hazard, yeah. Safety, OSA plus health hazard. And so these are the regulation on the OSA. You have the Occupational Safety and Health Regulation 1997, yeah, and the noise exposure. Natia, you're talking about Janaya Regulation 2019, and then you have the use and standard of exposure of chemical hazardous Regulation 2000, and then Occupational Safety and Health Notification of Accident Dangerous Occurrence, Occupational Poisoning, Occupational Disease Regulation 2004. Then you have the Safety and Health Committee Regulation 1996. So control of industrial major accident hazard 1996. Can you give an example of this, Nataya? The major industry accident hazard. Do we have this in Malaysia? You remember one time the Langat water treatment plant have to close down because of the black water intake discharge from the factory in Langat. I think that is under this regulation. Yeah. So this regulation is very important for Malaysia. Yeah. Then you have the Safety and Health General Policy Statement Exception Regulation 1995. And then you have the Classification Labeling Safety Data Sheet as Hazardous Chemical Regulation 2013. The last one is the Classification, Packaging, Labeling Hazardous Chemical Regulation 1997, but this is already revoked already. Yeah. So we have talked in length regarding the OSA just now, yeah. Starting with the introduction, the act itself, yeah. The appointment of officer, the general duties, the employees, yeah. This one is going through it again actually, yeah. You can read it later. I email to you this note, yeah. This is part of what the news mentioned about, yeah. Companies have to develop safety manual. Your company do have the safety manual? Natia,
Yes, we have safety manual.
can you explain roughly what are inside the safety manual?
The safety manual usually will have roles and responsibilities of project managers, directors, safety officers, production managers and all. And then we'll have all the high risk activity, classification of high risk activities. Then the hierarchy of the activities. Hierarchy is the safety risk assessment. Yeah, and then that's all lah. The policy.
More or less is the SOP, the standard
Yeah, it's a SOP.
operating procedure. On the safety aspect, the company must comply. Yeah, that's good. So that completed the OSA 1994. Yeah. Any question before I go to the next one?
No question.
No question. Very good. Yeah.
How about mental health, doctor?
Yes. That's a good
Uh,
question.
yes.
Mira, is it?
Yeah.
Remember, we're talking about occupational safety and health, right?
Mm-hmm.
So definitely mental health is included in under the category of health, kesehatan. Yeah,
For
mental health.
example, if the person is having anxiety or depression and deemed to not fit to work, what's the responsibility of the employers? I will they have the power to make them resign or how?
Under the OSA 1994, this is one of the safety and health aspect of the whole country. Yeah, the whole, not only Malaysia lah, all countries in the world. And anxiety is one of the modern disease. Should I call it disease or challenges? It's up to you. How do you call it? But we are talking about the same thing like that now. Of course, I think maybe at that point of entry, when this person work in the company, I suppose lah, Emira, at the point of entry, this employer doesn't have this problem, right? I think.
Yes. But
Yeah.
they have it previously. They have at the previous company they have it and then they resign and then they work again. But then it's reoccurring.
I'm talking at the side of the government that I work lah. The government always take the stand of at that point of time when this employee was taken to be employed with the government, they have no problem at that point of time. Because kalau sudah ada case macam ni, and he need to be truthful about it masa dia apply tu.
If they are not truthful?
There is one clause in the borang, you know. the Jabatan Perkhidmatan Awam have the right to what they call it, terminate your service.
Ah,
Yeah, it's clearly stated there. But
okay.
like I mentioned earlier on, for the government service lah, because at your point of entry memang you are clean, so there is no issue of their anxiety tadi lah, tak ada masalah anxiety. Tapi kalau anxiety itu datang masa dia bekerja, we have to accept the fact that the workers get the anxiety while working with the government. Yeah, and it is the responsibility of the employer to help to manage the staff, to manage it or to overcome it, the anxiety.
But
Ada beberapa case lah yang saya tengok lah.
But some situation may be unfair to the other employees. For example, if they cannot perform, and then it impacts the other people that have to work around them.
Yeah, there is two way to look into that aspect. First,
Compassionate.
In terms of the humanitarian ground, workers' right. So, what happen kalau kita sendiri di dalam kasut dia tu? That is one way to look into it. And second is macam the way is macam you said, is it fair to the other workers? So I'm talking in terms of what the government do. Yeah, I don't know what is the private sector practice. Maybe you all can say the government will let these people do their work. Memang dia pandai bekerja. Cuma certain thing can trigger dia punya anxiety itu. But they can work. They are very good in working. But kalau certain thing trigger tu dia akan kacau sedikit dia punya balance tu. Yeah. So that's why the government focus to make them manage themselves, you know. So far yang macam gone case tu, the government always take the peri kemanusiaan, human rights, you know. If government terminate him or her, what happened to the children? What happened to the family? What happened to the house? What happened to the car? And then who is going to bear the cost? Is it to kebajikan, to society, to government? So it's you buang salah, you simpan salah, nak buat apa? So there is no actual right and wrong here, you know. But what is the practice in the private sector? I'm not sure. But yeah, any opinion on this? Albert, why are you so quiet today, Albert?
Sorry, Doctor.
What
was
do
the
you think
question
about?
earlier?
I mean, since asking about mental health.
Yeah.
People
For
with
private
anxiety.
sector, normally they will give like 7 months, and they assess the person, see if he is able to recover, or they also will send him to some how we call it they give him some counseling, so they will assess him in few months. If he cannot return to his normal state, then they will just terminate him. It's normally 6 to 7 months.
Yeah, I think they're given some counseling, some help, assistance to improve the mental health, ya.
Yeah.
Anxiety. Kalau ada improvement, they will still employ that person. Kalau tidak ada, I think private sector cannot survive without productivity. They have to terminate, I think. Emira, do I answer your question?
Yes, I think so. But probably a more lenient way is to demote or pay cut, I think. If they are unable to manage people because of their health, and then it impacts the people that work under them, I think they should be demoted.
Yeah, whatever step taken by the organization, if there are some good background with justification, like what Albert says now, or like what you mentioned, maybe they demote them just to sustain them, you know, or like what the government do. They help them to overcome the problem. Some of them they can overcome, so settle. Some of them maintain, carry on. Some of them become worse. So for the sake of, you know, helping them to live on with their family, with their life, the government still keep them and pay for them. The government have no problem because government got money. Yeah. But I think private sector is productivity driven. So whatever choice they make is all entirely up to the SOP lah. Yeah, as long as it comply to the OSA 1994 now. Yeah. Okay, boleh ya? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the next one, yeah. Talking about the Factory and Machinery Act 1967, yeah. This act is to provide the control of factories with respect to matters relating to safety and health and welfare, yeah, and the registration, inspection of machinery and all matters connected, yeah. So what are the main objective of this Factory Machinery Act? Yeah, to provide for the control of factories on safety, health, and welfare. Welfare means the employers, the employees, and all people involved in the factories. Yeah, the registration, inspection of the machineries. Yeah. So what is the meaning of machinery under FNA? Machinery means machinery. Driver means a person who holds an engine driver certificate of competency issued under Section 30. Yeah? Engineer means a person who holds an engineer's certificate of competency. Yeah. So what is FNA regulation. So those are regulation provided under the 1967 Act, yeah, FNN FMA Act, yeah. It involved the registration and inspection of all machineries, yeah. These are the example, yeah. The regulation, noise exposure, steam boiler, unfired pressure vessel, yeah, and steam boiler and unfired pressure vessel regulation 1970 of schedule, yeah. This is under the Inspection Authorities Amendment 2014. Yes. Then you're talking about mineral dust, noise exposure, building operation, work engineering, construction safety, asbestos, 1986. Is asbestos product still allowed by Malaysia? Nitya?
No, it's not allowed.
It's also already banned, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember the first time I used asbestos is as my house roof. Yeah. Then after that, I have to change the roof from asbestos to you know the long roof. What do you call that?
A tile roof, is it?
They call it tile, bukan, I think. Not tile.
Zinc.
Zinc, but it's a good quality one. Before that was asbestos. Yeah. And you have the lead regulation, compoundable offenses, witness and inspection, certificate of competency for examination, administration, health, safety and welfare, fencing, machinery safety, electric passenger, good leave. I think this electric passenger refers to MRT, and good leave are those leave used to carry goods up and down, yeah. Steam boiler, this is more like a oil pump mill, yeah, steam boiler. The person in charge, special scheme for inspection, compounding of offenses, those 1967. Just now we're talking about OSA 1994. Yeah. So it provides for the control of all factories, but as we mentioned earlier, yeah, it covers only manufacturing, mining, wiring, construction. Yeah, very limited. Yeah, under the Factories Machinery Act, very limited coverage. Yeah, that's why we need OSHA. Yeah, and OSHA can cover 90%. This is the picture of the construction work in Malaysia. Yeah. Now the question is, can we privatize those enforcement function? For discussion, do you think we should privatize those enforcement function? Department of Occupational Safety and Health. Yes or no? Albert?
will say yes.
Yes. Should we ask the private sector to enforce the function of those?
Yes, we should.
Natya,
Yes.
you mean we can privatize?
I think you should privatize.
Why? Why do you think we should privatize?
Can have a balanced system. Not sure.
And also, I
Um,
think because of some of them are hired through direct, and then they are not subject matter expert on that particular thing lah, particular matters. For example, macam welding work, maybe they are not familiar with other tests and everything lah. So they macam just go there and then infer something that they not really understand. So it's better for them to hire a private sector that expert on that item lah.
okay. The question is the function of those. Should we privatize it to the private sector, just like LHDN function, collecting of government tax? Should we privatize it, or should it be carried out by government agency? So the same question posed about the function of those here. Yeah, should the enforcement of those function be privatized? So that is the question. First, currently, DOS is enforced by government agency, by DOS itself. Yeah. Now, if we privatize DOS, will it be more effective or less effective? That is the question.
More effective. I think privatize is better. It is more effective.
Can I say less?
Agree.
Can I say less effective?
You cannot say more effective, but you don't have data to back it up.
Because we currently the DOS, the enforcement is not as stringent. Yeah, it is not following the act. If maybe we privatize it, more non-members of more safety and health practitioners, experienced practitioners can join the sector and advise on in terms of their expert. So this they can enforce more and can maybe it can reduce the incidents or accidents at cases lah. That is my thought, because we have continuous issues on crane falling on the public. This has been like very frequent, but then the enforcement is not there. It's like just like ala kadar saja, macam untuk tengok, bagi orang tengok lepas tu macam tak ada apa-apa. That
So
is just
now,
my opinion lah.
now is the argument for privatization, that is to make it more effective and efficient, so that any non-compliant of those act will be properly implemented by the right people with the right knowledge, with the right experience. People who have the right experience with the right knowledge wanted to join those to enforce it. That's what you are arguing about, right? Correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So you agree with facts. That's what I mean, right? Okay. How about if you don't agree, who's that person?
I think I Dr. Riley here. I think
Okay,
just
Riley.
just my 2 cents. I think I understand well this question, and then what is the statement by Nitya lah. I think I support the privatization, but I think Malaysia is not ready yet, which is at the moment because I'm looking into the upper stream, which is on the top management and the higher part. Through privatization, we don't really have the reach the standard which we call a Malaysian standard, and that's why we are still in the consider it as under ministry, or consider it as under government. Because like I think this happens to the CIDB, which is previously there's a people talk about CIDB must be privatized, kita mau jadi CIDB private, but the argument is there sebab kita lihat on the upper stream, which is on the overall management or the stakeholder involvement, and how the standard that we wanted to achieve. Yeah, but I agree if at some point of time kita jadikan those become a private lah. Cuma at the moment we are not ready yet, because I'm talking about another perspective is on the commercial part. We don't want the private or non-government control the how to say the enforcement and all the cost, macam like they give sesuka hati all the fines, all the saman due to the safety incident lah. So that's why we still wanted a Malaysian standard lah, overall standard under DOSH lah. Yeah, that is my opinion lah. It's just that we are not ready lah.
Okay. The opinion against privatization at this point of time is, the question is, are we ready as Malaysian to ensure that all of us comply to those requirements, yeah, those requirement compliant under the OSA Act 1994 just now. Yeah, I think if you look at the both argument, there are merits in it. Are we ready to be privatized? Yeah, that means when you are ready to be privatized means you must have the confidence of all the stakeholders. That means you are able to comply to the OSA Act. Yeah, in terms of compliance, in terms of enforcement. Yeah, if let's say we cannot comply, then they will be fined. And when we fine them, can we make sure that they pay the fine? So this are valid argument, and that's why until now they have not made the decision yet. From my experience working in the ministry level, yeah, there's a good process from the agency. The agency is like OSA. This is agency, and the ministry is Sumber Manusia. Yeah, they will have a detailed working paper why they need to privatize, and they will engage all the stakeholders. We don't want to miss anybody in the stakeholders, yeah, to be able to give the point of view, to give the feedback, so that the moment the government approve, there's no looking back, yeah, and every gap covered. Yeah, I believe that they are doing it now, and when the time is right, I think they will privatize it. Yeah, because at the end of the day, they only want what is best for Malaysia, the Malaysian employer, the Malaysian employee, and overall, we all know that 90% of the workforce is covered under OSA. Yeah, so it's very, very critical. Yeah. So hopefully we'll see light in the end of the tunnel. Yeah. Nadia?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So then we have SIRIM. You have heard of SIRIM kan? Standard and Industry Research Institute of Malaysia, SIRIM. Yeah. These are the penalty kalau we don't comply to OSA. Yeah. Nanti I can share with you all this. This is NIOS, part of OSA, NIOS. Then somebody talking about CIDB, you know. This is the example. Kad pendaftaran personel binaan. This one they call it green card, is it?
Yes, this one is the green card.
Do you have this green card, Nadia?
Yes, I have.
Just like a credit card, yeah?
Yeah, they upgraded to this type.
This one is renewal every year.
Every year or every 5 years also can.
I see.
3 to 5 kan, Netia? 3 years kan? 3 to 5 years, right?
Dia
ada valid, right?
every year dengan dia ada 5 tahun sekali. You
Betul.
boleh.
Oh, okay. This is the latest green card, right? I punya lama.
Ya, ini latest punya lah.
Okay.
This is the green card, card hijau. Registered declaration issued by the Malaysian Construction Industry Development Berhad, CIDB, yeah, for construction personnel that involved in construction work, undergone safety induction construction worker at training centers like Academy Binaan or other training centers accredited by CIDB. Yeah. This is enforced from October 2019. So these are the benefit if you have the card. You have a lot of benefit here. Claim must be made at least 60 days from the date of incident. These are the bayaran. The latest one, I think. 1 year, 85.
Yes, correct.
85. 5 years is 260. Pekerja asing lain. Pekerja asing 1 year, 360. 5 years, 360. Oh, no matter how many years, sama juga 360 ya. Pekerja asing. So I have covered all the important aspect of OSA today. Maybe we want to go through some of the important area again. Yeah, just to recap. Okay, what are the 5 objectives of OSA, Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994? Number 1. Anybody can try?
To secure safety, health, and welfare of a
Ah,
person at workplace.
you just remember to secure the safety, health, welfare. Secure. Number two, to protect person at place of work. Yeah, protect, secure, protect, promote, provide. Boleh ingat? Can remember? Imira, jangan tengok. Coba. Nomor satu apa?
To secure safety, health, and welfare of a person at work.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. How do you define place of work just now?
Any land, buildings, or part of any buildings. Any vehicle, vessel, or aircraft.
Ya. Samo. Bantu.
Any
Sama lagi.
installation
Movable.
on land, offshore installation. Any tent.
Ya. Ingat any land, building, any vehicle, vessel, aircraft, installation, offshore, onshore, floating, any tent, movable, all this. Really? Can you try to mention it again? Just to reinforce the meaning. Tempat kerja, apa maksud tempat kerja? Boleh ingat?
Sorry, you call me Doctor. Sorry, I pergi tandas. Okay. Sorry, what is the question? You mean the definition of the work and place of the work, is it?
Yes, place of work.
A place of, okay, I use my own words lah. Basically, the place of work is where the personnel, or we call or employee, work at the time that he should done his job, and example at site, land, building, or in any vehicles or vessel when it comes to the offshore or onshore, and also at 10. Okay.
Anybody want to add? Albert? Ada mau tambah lagi? Amelina?
Mining, quarry,
Ya,
construction
correct.
site.
Offshore, onshore, construction site, ya. Okay, good. One more I want to remind you for your contract one. For your contract, if they ask for example, make sure you give the relevant example to the question asked, yeah, under the contract, yeah. How about the employer general objective? Number one, apa sepatutnya dia mesti buat sebagai employer?
To ensure
Number one, what?
Maintenance plant.
Maintenance of plants and systems.
Yes, maintenance. Lagi?
Provide
Provide
information and training.
Training. Lagi?
Keep the place safe.
Yes, keep the place safe and health in good health, ya. Lagi? Cooperate
To
with the
promote
employer.
to promote occupational environment.
Yeah. Promote occupational environment and health, yeah. How about if you are the employee? You are the employee. What are your general duties as employee?
To take reasonable care.
To take care of ourselves.
First, to take care or to take reasonable
Reasonable care.
care for your own safety, your own health, yeah, or person who may be affected by your work, ya. Okay, jangan ingat you sendiri saja. And those who may be affected by your work, ya. Okay. B, to cooperate. You, the employee must cooperate with your employer, yeah. Okay. Or any other person, yeah, in the discharge of any duty, ya. Lagi, nomor 3, employee.
Wear PPE at all times.
Yeah, you wear and use, yeah, at all times. You don't use the word short form like that in your answer, yeah. Okay,
Okay.
right, in full, right. Now, the problem with us when we write, we always assume people know. That is a wrong assumption. You must assume people don't know. That's why you must explain. Do I make myself clear? Can you get me?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah. Okay. When you write, you assume the examiner doesn't know. Yeah. Don't think that he don't know. Don't think that he knows. Yeah. So you must wear and use at all times any protective equipment or clothing. Like Natia, you said PPP now, is it?
Yes, protective equipment.
Yeah. I'm familiar with it, but your examiner don't know, you know. Yeah. I don't know who's your examiner. Yeah. We don't know who's your examiner. And then D, yeah, employee to comply with any instruction or measure on occupational safety and health. Yeah. You must be able to comply. Okay. I think I cover the most important part of OSA already. Yeah. And we have 7 more minutes to go. I would like to thank all the group who have completed and submitted your assignment. I already marked it second round. My third round will be the final marking, the final mark. Yeah. And thank you very much for all the cooperation given. If you have any other question on this subject matter, OSHA, or the Factories Act 19, you can ask me before I close the class this morning.
No question, doctor. Thank you.
From Netia, no question and thank you. Albert, apart from you,
From me,
no question also from you. Victor,
no question, Doctor. No
no
question.
question. This Edri, Edri around ka? Edri for Sumunyan, is it? Edri? Adri, are you there? No response, huh? Adri. Emira?
No question. Thank you, doctor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Question, doctor. Thank you.
Thank you, Albert. Yeah.
No question, doctor. Thank you.
Sati, thank you. Yeah.
A question from me.
Right.
Thanks, doctor.
No question, dokter. Thank you. Sakit gigi, dokter.
Renan sakit gigi.
Baru cabut, dokter.
Oh, you know the best cabut gigi in Kuching is the Sarawak General Hospital specialist, cabut gigi specialist. I got the feedback that people who cabut gigi there, they don't feel the pain. I remember I cabut my gigi in UITM Salam before. Dua gigi kah? Oh, betul sakit, you know, and I can see the doctor struggling to pull it. But when I cabut mine in Klinik Pakar Hospital Umum Kuching, the lady is the doctor is a lady, you know. Dia main-main saja dia cabut gigi, my gigi. Dia macam up and down, up and down, up and down, pull like that. And you don't feel anything. So that is my two contrast experience, no? From government hospital. One is a specialist. The one in GH is a specialist. The other one is Salam. UATM Salam. The one memang struggling. I can feel. I can see struggling to pull it. The one in Salam takes 15 minutes to complete. This one only 3 minutes finish. Good experience, yeah. If no, yeah, there's only 2 more minutes to 11. We have one more class next week, yeah, 26. And after this, all the other classes will be handled by Dr. Ting, yeah. And really, I have to remind you, you owe me chapter 1, introduction, literature review, and research methodology. Yeah? If you have problem, please let me know. Because you promised to email me, you haven't emailed me, right?
Yes, doctor. I will speak to you after this. Okay.
Because I have to be objective about your assessment. I can only assess you based on your product, yeah. Unless you discuss with me what is your problem, yeah. Because your topic is very easy to do, not difficult. You just know how to do it, yeah. So with that, everybody, I end this class. And thank you very much for your cooperation, for taking the time to join this class. And all the best in your final exam, or in whatever assignment that you're given after this. Yeah. Can I end the class? If there is no more. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Now it's 11 o'clock already.
Thank you, Doctor.
So can I stop sharing?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I stop sharing now. Ellie, please do your best, yeah, because you only can determine your mark, yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, everybody. Have a nice weekend.